Sripuranthan Natarajan Idol. The Sripuranthan Natarajan Idol is a 900-year-old statue of Natarajan, the dancing Shiva, that was stolen from the ancient Brihadeeswarar temple of Sripuranthan, smuggled to the United States, and then sold to the National Gallery of Australia, Canberra, with a false provenance for $5.01 million. The statue was consequently returned by Australia to the Indian government on ethical grounds once questions were raised on due diligence not being followed during the acquisition. Nataraja. Nataraja Tamil, in Tetraker or Kuthvin Kot, the Lord or King of Dance, is a depiction of the Hindu god Shiva as the cosmic dancer who performs his divine dance to destroy a weary universe and make preparations for the god Brahma to start the process of creation. The dance of Shiva in Talai, the traditional name for Chidambaram, forms the motif for all the depictions of Shiva. The form is present in most Shiva temples in South India and is the prime deity in the famous Talai Nataraja temple at Chidambaram. The sculpture is usually made in bronze, with Shiva dancing in an aureole of flames, lifting his left leg in rare cases, the right leg, and balancing over a demon or dwarf Mayalaka who symbolizes ignorance. It is a well-known sculptural symbol in India and popularly used as a symbol of Indian culture. Background: the Udayarpalayam taluk of the Ariyalar district in Tamil Nadu, India, has nearly 463 ancient temples, of which 200 belong to the Chola period, dated 9th to 10th century AD. Most of these temples haven't seen maintenance for many decades and have lacked security. Local thieves used to target the idols for their metal content, usually melting them. Some idols are pure gold, silver, and panchaloha. However, the entry of international smuggling cartels has changed the situation. With antique Chola art being worth millions in the international market, idol thieves were recruited to lift them from the temples. In 2008, one such gang, allegedly recruited by New York-based art dealer Subhash Kapoor, was responsible for stealing 8 idols from the Brihadeeswarar temple at Sripuranthan, 18 idols from the Varadaraja Perumal temple, and in 2010, 6 Panchaloha idols from Choseshwara temple at Vikaramangalam. Subhash Kapoor owned an upscale Indian art dealership called Art of the Past in Manhattan, USA. Across the years, he had built a good working relationship with international art galleries as a reputable dealer of Indian antiques. Following accusations of illegal dealing, Kapoor's gallery was raided by Homeland Security and stolen artwork worth $100 million was seized. Subhash Kapoor was arrested in Germany and extradited to India to face trial. As of 2016, he is lodged at the Pujal Central Prison in Tamil Nadu, India, facing charges for criminal conspiracy to steal antique idols, which carries a maximum sentence of 14 years. Kapoor protests his innocence and believes that he has been framed. Idol theft from Sripuranthan. According to the art investigative website Chasing Aphrodite, Kapoor traveled to India and met Sanjeevi Asakan, a kingpin of a ring of idol thieves. In 2006, thieves were hired for $12,000 to steal 8 idols: Nataraja and Uma Maheshwari Vinayagar, Divi, Deepalaxmi, Chandrasekharar, Sampanthar, and Krishnar from the dilapidated Brihadeeswarar temple at Sripuranthan. Worship at the temple had ended a long time before, as it was plagued by scorpions and poisonous bugs, and it was locked and had fallen into ruins. The theft occurred on 3 occasions, starting in January 2006, with the thieves carefully gluing back the lock, using a lorry truck parked on the dry river bed behind the temple as the getaway vehicle. Soon after the theft, pictures of the stolen idols were sent to Kapoor in October 2006. The idols were mixed with new replicas to fool customs officials and exported out of India to New York by a company called Everstar International Services, Inc., where they were received by Nimbus Imports Exports, a company owned by Kapoor. Soon afterwards, Kapoor obtained a certificate from the Art Loss Register ALR stating that the Nataraja idol was not on the stolen artifacts register. At this point, the ALR had no information on the stolen Nataraja, as the theft of the idols was discovered by the villagers only in 2008. The discovery was made when officials of the Archaeological Survey of India, Government of India, arrived in the village to remove the idols from the temple for safekeeping, and the glued lock and missing idols were discovered. A first information report FIR 133/2008 was filed at the Vikramangalam police station in this regard. The Economic Offences Wing of the Tamil Nadu Police released pictures of the missing idols on its website. Acquisition by the National Gallery of Australia. The National Gallery of Australia (NGA) was keen to enhance its collection of Indian art. In 2008, the NGA, under Ron Radford, director, and Robin Maxwell, senior curator Asian art, acquired the dancing Shiva from Subhash Kapoor. The provenance provided stated that the idol was sold by Raj Maghav of Grand Central Parkway to Subhash Kapoor. Further, it was claimed the idol was acquired in New Delhi in 1970, a year before the Indian government banned the export of antiquities from India by Raj's late husband Abdullah Maghav, who was a Sudanese diplomat serving in India between 1968 and 1971. A sales receipt dated 15 April 1970, issued by Uttam Singh and Sons, Jama Masjid, Delhi, to Abdullah Maghav of Defence Colony, New Delhi, was produced as part of the provenance. $5.01 million was paid by the National Gallery of Australia for the idol. Theft exposed. The investigative website Chasing Aphrodite was the first to expose that the Shiva idol acquired by the NGA was a stolen artwork from southern India. The story was picked up by Australian and Indian news agencies and widely reported. New York police recovered pictures of the idol from Kapoor's house, where it appeared in a contemporary Indian house environment, discounting the claim that the idol has been outside India since 1971. Records of the idol had been maintained at the French Institute of Pondicherry, with 3 photo records from different periods. Further, a 75-year-old farmer, Govindarajan, had a 30-year-old picture of Natarajan and his consort, which was taken by a photographer from Kumbakonam. Using this information, the Hindu newspaper ran an article comparing photos: a photo of the Sripuranthan Natarajan idol from the French Institute of Pondicherry taken in 1994, photos of the idol recovered by New York police during the raid of Kapoor's house, and the photo of the idol displayed at the National Gallery of Australia. It concluded all the photos were of the same idol, showing 7 similarities: 27 flames around the circle, left leg pointing between the 3rd and 4th flame, waistcloth of Shiva merged with the 23rd and 24th flame, 3rd flame slightly damaged, 12th and 13th flame damaged, 17th flame damaged, flowing hair damaged. However, the National Gallery of Australia continued to deny that the artwork was stolen, refused to return it, and continued to display it in the gallery without any note of its doubtful provenance. This stand was criticized by the Australian media, with Duncan Chappell, criminology expert from University of Sydney, calling it inappropriate and an international embarrassment. The Government of India formally requested the artwork to be returned under the UNESCO Convention on Stolen Antiquities. Investigative site Poetry in Stone published a list of stories named as the Kapoor Files, showing that several of the stolen idols stolen from Sripuranthan and Suthamali had appeared in consecutive art of the past catalogues. The site compared the photos published in the Kapoor catalogues with the photos of the stolen idols as recorded by the French Institute of Pondicherry and pointed out the similarities. Return to India. In March 2014, Ron Radford, the director of the National Gallery of Australia, removed the idol from display. In September 2014, the Australian government returned the Natarajan idol to India, along with another stolen, antique idol of Shiva as Brihadeeswarar, which was displayed at the Art Gallery of New South Wales. The two were handed over by the then Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott to the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on 5 September 2014 at New Delhi. The Nataraja idol was then moved to Madras and stored in the safe room of the Archaeological Survey of India office at Fort St. George before being produced before the judicial magistrates of Jayamkandam and Viruddhachalam. In November 2014, the Nataraja idol was paraded on the streets of Sripuranthan under tight security. It was temporarily placed in its original damp stone altar. However, officials made it clear that the statue would be displayed at the Government Museum at Kumbakonam and will be brought into Sripuranthan for annual festivities. The consort of Nataraja was traced to the Asian Civilization Museum at Singapore, and the government of Singapore agreed for its return to India. Overall, 4 of the 8 statues stolen from Sripuranthan were traced, with 3 to the United States and 1 to Singapore. In March 2016, the Natarajan idol was reunited with its consort, Uma at the ASI Icon Centre, Kumbakonam, after nearly 8 years. The Singapore Civilization Museum had finally returned the Uma after long negotiations with the Indian government. Consequences.